When we think of incarceration, our thoughts immediately go to inmates behind bars and the consequences faced when pleading guilty or being convicted of a crime. Overlooked are the children of incarcerated parents and the family members who do time along with their loved one. No parent should have to bury their children. The mere thought of it makes me think of my children who I would gladly give my life for. Darlene McDay buried her son, Dante Taylor, 7 years before Robert Brooks was brutally murdered by correction officers. On October 7th, 2017, Dante Taylor took his life. The day before, he was brutally beaten by corrections officers at NYS Correctional Facility. After he was beaten, you could not tell who he was. Even though OSI, DOCCS Office of Special Investigation, had determined that excessive force was used, these officers not only kept their jobs, they faced zero criminal prosecution. In this video, I share Darlene's story. I read a portion of an article, and at the end, play a video where Darlene McDay shares her story herself. Brooks joins group of high-profile deaths in New York prisons. Brooks joins a list of state inmates who died after run-ins with New York prison guards in recent years. Samuel Harrell, Carl Taylor, Dante Taylor, Terry Cooper are among them. Their alleged beatings weren't filmed, and it can be an uphill battle bringing claims on behalf of victims convicted of heinous crimes like rape and murder, crimes unlikely to engender jury sympathy. Dante Taylor's mother, Darlene McDay, said she decided to file a lawsuit to hold officers at NYS Correctional Facility responsible for what they did to her son. The suit is still pending. I think the justice system is just inhumane, first of all, McDay said. Secondly, I don't think they see people that are incarcerated as humans. They don't see them as people, and it's been going on for so long. October 7th, 2017, Taylor, 22, wrapped a blanket around his neck and killed himself in an infirmary cell at NYS Correctional Facility near Buffalo. The day before, the family's lawsuit alleges Taylor was brutally beaten beyond recognition by correction officers. Prison staff had ignored warning signs of his suicide, the lawsuit claims. Taylor died while his lawyers were appealing his life sentence without parole for the 2014 stabbing death of Sarah Good, 21, on Long Island. They severely beat him, and they claimed, of course, that he self-inflicted those injuries by smashing his own face on the floor of the cell, Rosenfeld said. McDay has monitored developments in the Brooks investigation, but can't bring herself to watch the body camera images. If I even start to see that video, I picture my son, McDay says. It's something that's so traumatizing because the way I see it is that is what happened to my son that night. The DOCCS Office of Special Investigations determined that officers had engaged in excessive force assault of Dante Taylor the day before his death. According to a department spokesperson, federal prosecutors ultimately chose not to pursue criminal charges, saying the evidence was inconclusive and insufficient, the spokesperson noted. Let's watch Darlene McDay tell her story.
I received a call from a correctional facility from a person that was incarcerated there that told me to call the facility because my son was severely beaten by about 15 correction officers. That is right. When I called the facility and got the runaround, I finally spoke to a reverend that called me hours later. And I remember him saying, "I need you to sit down." And as I stood in my room and just stared in the mirror, and I was screaming, and I was like, "Ah!" Because that's what you feel when you hear that your child is gone and you will never see him again. break my heart every day. And every time I tell this story and speak to a legislator, or they give me to their staff, and they're like, okay. I'm just sickened by the world that we live in, that does not care about a young boy that was beaten by officers to the point where he was unrecognizable. The officers that did this to my son have continued to work.
That ain't right.
They continue to get promoted. They continue to get paid. The Office of Special Investigations did their investigation. They determined that the officers did in fact assault my son, that they did in fact falsify documents, but yet they're still working.
Hold them accountable.
Over and over again, they've gotten protection. 5 years later, nearly 5 years, October will be the statute of limitations on federal criminal charges.
Wow. Isn't that right?
We have not seen one piece of accountability yet. My son deserves justice. He deserves accountability. For anyone harmed in New York State by any public official, they deserve their day in court. Qualified immunity prevents their day in court.
That's right.
I didn't know about qualified immunity. Now, because of what happened to my son, so many more people are learning about it. I will make sure they know about it. Over and over again. We tell this story. There is no reason, there are protections for qualified immunity to exist. There is absolutely no reason for it, and we need to end it. And thank you all for being here, because we will end it this session. Thank you.
If you found value in this video, please like the video, share the video, and if you think I've earned it, please subscribe if you have not already. My goal is to give you honest and direct feedback, to dig deeper than what the mainstream media is telling and sharing with you. Thank you, God bless, and take care.